I'm Leslie Weidenbender with Comcast Newsmakers. I'm here today with Representative Tim Neese. He's a Republican from Elkart. Welcome, Representative Neese.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to ask you about your legislation that would require drug tests for some recipients of the welfare program known as Temporary Assistance for Needy Families.
That's correct.
Can you tell us
TANF.
about that?
Yes, this is actually my third effort, and it's over the last few years. I think we have modified it and made it better. It could be random testing, but that's not necessarily true with all instances. It could also be based on an interview. These are professional interviewers that would be discussing the TANF and the requirements and the prerequisite of receiving public assistance. If they feel there's a reason perhaps to have a testing of a recipient, that could occur. Another situation is if a recipient of receiving the TANF funding would all of a sudden black out while driving or have an accident and there's really nothing substantive that would explain why the accident occurred. That might be then a reason for testing.
Why do you think this legislation is so important?
Well, I think it's important mainly because we are talking about public funding. This is taxpayer funding. It's a program that is provided by Hoosiers, and I don't think it is an unreasonable prerequisite or a criteria to ask for someone that's having difficulty, but at the same time receiving public assistance to be tested and to agree to that.
And what do you think the chances are that this bill will become law this year?
Well, that's a great question. Now, last year it got as far then as it has now. It died in a Senate Public Health Committee, and that could happen again. If it does happen, then I'll regroup and I'll be interested in being involved with it yet a fourth time, but I am optimistic. Over the years, it's changed a little bit. Previously, if you tested positive for one of the drugs that's considered illegal, your benefits would be cut off. This, though, allows you to really have a second and a third chance. So you could actually have an illegal substance in your body, test positive for it, and then continue to receive public assistance as long as you agreed to get assistance. And that assistance, though, is at the cost of that individual.
So another bill that you've co-authored has to do with regulating mopeds on the streets.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That's right. Well, this is not to be thought that there's a war declared on riders of mopeds, but it's a way to monitor them. I've actually had individuals contact me that ride mopeds and say that they would like to have some specific restrictions and an effort to monitor them. It just simply allows an individual that they cannot go beyond 30 miles an hour. If they do, then they are subject to be pulled over by a police officer. They have to have the moped registered. It doesn't have to be licensed. There is a difference. When they're on a thoroughfare, they have to be the far right of that unless they're turning left. I'm of the opinion if they're going to be on a thoroughfare, they should then adhere to all the traffic laws.
Well, Representative Neese, thank you so much. Those are really interesting bills.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
I'm Leslie Weidenbender with the StateHouseFile.com and Comcast Newsmakers. Thanks for joining us.